You got the gift of the gab, don't you?
I wouldn't say that.
Would you say you were born with that?
Well, it's not something you really learn. Most people tell me to shut up, but it's kind of, as I say, that's where like the kind of my mouth and talking is pretty much my main tool.
But it's not fake. That's the thing. You're just a joy to speak to. It's fun. It's come from a good place. So you're a natural agent.
Well, I'm not a very good liar, which is kind of doesn't necessarily always help you, but it's kind of I've always kind of I learned that very early on, which I'm just not really a liar. So I'll kind of talk. If someone doesn't like what I've got to say or questions it, I'll always be kind of willing to have that conversation and it's kind of see where it takes you. Really, that's
But
just
here. I mean, as an agent, and I preach this to the boys: never lie. It doesn't matter what it is. Never lie. It's going to come back and bite you.
that's exactly it. Even
It's
if it
tough
doesn't.
not to lie, though. It is. Everyone lies, apart from this man here.
No, I mean it is, but.
I can't remember if we said this in a podcast before, but that was one of the hardest things to learn when I started working for you. Is not that I used to lie all the time, but it's like you'd say just always tell the truth, because if you don't and it comes out eventually, it's just gonna, you should have just outed it from the start and then you can overcome.
You can be economical, but just don't lie. If it lies and blows up in your face, you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah, see, my background, estate agency background, it's like you lie through your teeth, just get a deal done.
Yeah.
It's deal with the consequences as and when. And I think it was a learning curve.
Yeah.
Coming in at the start, it's sort of, wow, actually, that's not the case.
Okay.
And it's you sort of, to get the deal over the line, be open, be honest, and not just false.
Find the truth, find the path.
Well, that's what I think. That's the difference between. I would never want to slag off an estate agent because it's just a kind of estate agents get pinned with that kind of impression
But it's the truth.
that they're talking rubbish,
time.
and that's well, typically that's where kind of different things come from.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. I'd say on more of a commercial side, and when you go on to being more of an advisor and working with clients, is they don't want to hear that you're going to get untied.
Yeah.
They want to hear truth. And that's where I think that's always something that I've always kind of would die by. And it's where, you know what, some of them, there's some terrible conversations you have to have when you've got to give an opinion or kind of speak to a client honestly and say something that you know they're not going to want to hear.
Yeah.
But they'd rather hear that than kind of being led down the line 6 months later and then find it out. And they've been drawn along that amount of time. It's kind of, you would rather always hear that and be told that advice up front. That's what, my opinion, that's what you're being paid for. Not being paid to be a estate agent, you're being paid to be, I throw it under as an agent, but you're an advisor, and that's where, still when people ask me, I still say I'm a surveyor.
Yeah. There's like a grey area, though, I think. I think there's a difference between not telling the full truth and lying. Do you know what I mean?
Economical.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Economical lying?
I mean,
If
go on.
I was going to say, if it facilitates the deal and everybody's happy, then that's not a problem.